Hey everybody, MotoPoet59 here. I'm talking a little bit about the war on poverty. Now, something that you always hear the left grousing about, and the libertarians for that matter, is the cost of the drug war, the cost of the war on drugs, and the cost in dollars, and the cost in time, and the cost in humanity, and the cost in this and the cost in that. We need to repeal drug laws and stop bothering these poor junkies and cokeheads. That's insanity. We don't need drug addicts roaming the streets without fear of prosecution. These people think that if we just don't have drug laws, we won't have drug crime. And I just can't believe I hear people saying that. That's insane. But I'm going to do another piece on the war on drugs and the difference between what the left and the libertarians think about it and the realities. What you don't hear them talk about is the war on poverty, which the government has been fighting for about 8 years longer than the war on drugs, and they have spent a boatload more money on the war on poverty. They have spent over $20 trillion since 1965 on the war on poverty, and it has changed absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. There isn't anyone doing any better because of the war on poverty. Johnson's Great Society, which was the kickoff for that, was such a dismal failure in his own administration that in his re-election bid, his speechwriters were banned from even bringing it up. All we have done is toss money at it, which is what the government just loves to do, especially the Democrats. They love to throw money at a problem like it's going to fix something. You can't fix problems with money. You can't fix people with money. You can't change people's minds with government programs. All you do is get those people addicted to those programs, and it has caused massive problems. Look at the homelessness right now in America. It's everywhere. You can't go anywhere and not see homeless people. Somebody was telling me the other day, I can't remember, I think it was somebody was saying something about Kansas. Something came about the homeless. But anyway, they said, it's illegal to be homeless there. It's illegal to go 90 miles an hour, but people still do it everywhere. It may be illegal to be homeless in Kansas, but I guarantee you there are still homeless people in Kansas. They're just hiding out a little better. The war on poverty has not helped the poor. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what state you live in. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. There is no one better off today through government programs than they were in 1965 because of the war on poverty. The only difference is that the United States of America is $20 trillion more dollars in debt because of it. There are so many more things that could have been done to fight poverty, and a lot of them could have been done at the state level. We did not really need to involve the federal government in this. It could have been done even at local levels. The churches were doing okay. I know that during the Depression, it became more difficult for churches to do the charity work that they pretty much had been doing by themselves in the United States since the United States existed. But that had changed, and things were getting better for churches, and churches had the money to put into poverty, and state and local governments had things that they could have implemented that would have actually helped people rather than the governments creating more red tape and mesh bureaucratic nightmares to try and help with poverty. All they did was create more government jobs for more people who were doing nothing to help poverty. And some of these people may have been, their hearts may have been in the right place, but I'll bet you when they got there, they fell right into the good old boy government job system and didn't really care what was going on as long as they got their union wages and the government pension all paid for by the taxpayers. Once they figured out that was the deal, they really didn't want to change anything. If we're going to combat poverty, we're going to have to start at the local level, because obviously the government isn't going to be able to do anything about it. They haven't since 1965. I'm sick of hearing people talk about what we need to do for the homeless and the poor. If you really believe that, if you're one of those people who really believe that this stuff can get changed now, because I don't know if it can now. Homelessness is such a rampant problem, and that's really not even all because of poverty. A lot of that's because of drug addiction that has led people into poverty. Some of these people were executives at one time. They're not anymore, and that's not the fault of the taxpayer. But if we're ever going to combat poverty, it's going to have to start truly with the church and the free market. So if you're one of those people, one of those bleeding hearts who thinks that the government ought to do something, the fact is you ought to do something. Get off your ass. Quit bitching about homelessness. Quit complaining about Republicans. Quit complaining about Democrats. Quit complaining about everybody, and go do something. Get off your ass. Give some money. Go help. Figure out. Organize some sort of campaign locally to help these people, because the federal government is not going to do it, ever. They haven't done anything since 1965, and in 2065 they will have done nothing by then either. It's never going to happen. So the next time you feel like pissing and moaning about the war on drugs, which has cost less than half of what the war on poverty has cost, think about the war on poverty. Think about what you can do about it other than piss and moan and complain, and maybe things will start to change. Maybe they won't, but at least you will be able to say that you did something to try and help. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But who knows? Maybe it will. Maybe you'll be one of those people who's at the point of the spear of changing things. That's all I got to say about that. Let me know what you think. What do you think about the war on poverty? What do you think that we should do? Think we should keep leaving it in the hands of the federal government, or do you think we should start at the bottom again? Like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. We will see you all later.